you just
Oh
got...
no!
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay, someone also got told that. Oh man! Okay. Go down!
Oh no, we're gonna lose.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
No, I'm not sure at all. You're being impolite. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. We are winning.
Shows us games today. Barbara and Oliver by his side. In this world they take a ride.
Hello. Welcome to another video of Leo EGTV. This episode we are going to be reviewing Rocket League. It's action-packed, emotional roller coaster. It's a family game. It's flying cars that are rocket-powered. I would heavily recommend you try this game. It is the ultimate family game, if you ask me.
Rocket League is an amazing game. Simple concept, but executed brilliantly. Well done, Psyonix. Carball with a twist on it. It's just absolutely incredible. It takes a lot of skill, but it is entirely skill-based. Yes, it is hard to start, but it is exceedingly fun, especially once you get to the higher levels. It's great solo, great together. It is kind of a niche game, but it is very fun feeling the progress of skill and training.
Okay, let's do a review of the basics of gameplay. I recommend you go through the play, training, and free play to get to a free play arena to practice some of the moves. If you ever played a car game, the controls should be fairly familiar how we go forward and back. There's a bunch of flipping and flying mechanics which I'll let Leo cover later on. That are different, and what I'll say is these take upwards of a year, if not several years, to get to the level where you may see some streamers or competitive players play. So don't be disheartened if it gets to that, because it's actually quite a steep learning curve and hard to learn the game. The game is widely available. You can find it on the Epic Games Store on PCs. You can play it on most PCs, I would say. Some of the weaker PCs, older PCs may struggle a little. It is, after all, a fast-paced game that requires strong reactions and quick gameplay. It is possible to tune the game down the quality of the graphics so that it can be played on most computers, I would say, or at least a lot of them. You are better off with consoles if that's not your game. And the consoles from 8th generation up, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X, S, they have it. It plays really well in there. I would caution against Nintendo Switch, though. Even though the game does exist on Switch, it is substandard. You can play it, but not well. Again, goes back to this need for the game to be fast-paced game with quick reactions. So you can probably trial the game, but you may need a different platform to actually play it well. I would say the target audience for this game is children, even younger children to teenagers. Ages between 1 to 3, they can't really play it all that much. From 4 to 7, they can enjoy some game modes, they can have some fun with it, but I don't think they can get competitive in the main game. From 8 on, actually, I think children can play this, especially towards the latter end of that age range, 10, 11, 12. If losing is frustrating, though I have seen emotional reactions to that. But then again, it's part of the learning experience, I think. No concerns for all the children, but for adults, it is actually hard to play. It may be too hard to master for somebody who doesn't have a gaming background or maybe above a certain age. It requires good controller skills, so you might get frustrated playing the game. However, if you do manage to get on top of the skills, it is actually a very rewarding experience. There are safety concerns, in particular voice chat, which of course you can avoid by not having a microphone. Freeform text messages are there, which also are a safety risk. These can be turned off in some platforms, such as PlayStation, and I would recommend that you do so for your child, unless you are playing together with your child. The game also allows for preset shortcut text messages, which are okay and which allow for, actually, it's a nice way of having that interactivity between the players. Of course, you will run into toxic players, and trolling is not uncommon, but I think it's part of the fun where you tease the other players for their mistakes. I think one of the biggest strengths of this game is its cross-platform support, meaning whether you have a PlayStation or a PC, you are in the same game player pool. That means when you are looking for a competitive gameplay, you will be matched against or people with all kinds of different devices, and the game experience is very similar. It is comparable across these devices. That means somebody can play with their friends and team up together, whether that's cooperative mode, forming a team of 2, 3, and then facing other teams, or whether doing 1v1. It is possible to arrange these things. I would say the biggest fun is banding together with your child or children, like in a team of 2 or 3, and then finding random players in the public and doing competitive matches against them. So it's a cooperative and competitive aspect to this, which I think where the biggest fun is. Some platforms allow for split screen, competitive and cooperative play. That's probably best for beginning or like somebody who hasn't done it, so to train them up a little bit. And also, if you don't have multiple devices, then you can do in front of a single TV screen by splitting that. Overall, I would say this game shines in multiplayer mode. And as a family banding together in one team, or like with friends banding together and playing others, I think that's probably it can give you euphoric moments, I would say. Is this game educational? Probably no. I mean, there are educational aspects, like especially in 1v1 mode. The game actually resembles chess. There is quite a bit of it. It may not look it, but there is quite a bit of strategic thinking that goes into the gameplay. There's this tactical concerns, like how quickly you do certain things, how well you do certain moves. There's quite a bit of strategic thinking as well. Where do you place yourself in the field? Where you run, where you don't go, where you go. These come together to create a gameplay. And then, of course, there is team building, like how you interact with others on the field, a bit like actual football, I guess. And there's that element of like understanding or anticipating other people's moves and your own teammates, and that cooperative aspect of it. And perhaps what can be considered educational here is this emotional control. Of course, you would need parental support there, like if your child is getting too frustrated in losing or not being able to do certain things, because the game is very competitive and it does a very good job in matching you to equivalent players. So the games are always sort of are always on the edge where you can lose and win, and it's a game of willpower and skill. So overall, not particularly educational as such, but it does have some educational aspects. I wouldn't write them off. How much does it cost? It's absolutely free. In all of the platforms, it's free. Of course, you may end up paying quite a bit of money to it in the end, because all these fancy explosions, cars, and other cosmetic items like skins, they all cost money. You either outright buy them, or you may actually pay to build them. And for all of that, you need real-world money, which turns into game currency in the end. One interesting thing to mention here is that you don't need a PSN or Xbox Live subscription to play this online. I expect the game is having its own networking code. Therefore, it's one of the few network multiplayer games you can play without having such subscription on a console, which I think is a major plus.
Some of the basic moves are, if you press A or X, your car can perform a jump. Also, as Bubs previously said, while pressing B or circle, your car will boost, and you can reach fairly high speeds. Now, if you press jump 2 times in a row fairly quickly, your car can double jump. Double jumping is very useful for reaching balls that are high in the air. A fairly advanced mechanic known as a dodge can be performed when you double jump and hold the joystick in a particular direction. Holding it forward will make you dodge forwards, left, right. Well, it will make you dodge left and right. Backwards is, well, it will make you dodge backwards. I should note that all of these button configurations can be changed in the settings. However, these are the basic controls that you will start with.
Cool. One thing I should add to all of this is where the tutorials are. So if you go to play training, there's a whole bunch of tutorials here which you can do. Another thing I'll recommend is that you play against bots. You can create what's an exhibition game, and make sure this reads like these are the different types of games. Make sure you select soccer here, maybe 3v3 or 1v1, and you can select the bot difficulty here, something like beginner and rookie, and that gives you the option to play against some computer players, and that should allow you to build some confidence in the game. In particular, you can practice your kickoff here, and of course the bots are much more forgiving compared to real world players, but that's where you can learn some of the moves and at least get some basic understanding of how the game works. That's what we have done in the past, and I think it worked quite well for us.
Moving on to customization and personalization, you should click on Garage, then Customize Car, and you'll be able to access the customization thing and be able to customize your car to your liking. I should mention that you will not start with all of these cars, decals, paints, whatever, and that you'll have to pay or play to get them. That being said, there are decals, paint finishes, wheels, rocket boosts, toppers, which are effectively hats, antennas, goal explosions, trails, and engine audios, which is how your car sounds when you're driving. I should also mention that these are all cosmetic. Even though toppers look like they should clip the ball and hit it in weird angles, they don't. The ball will just go through them. However, I think the decals personally look really cool, especially some of the black markets or import ones. Not all of them are entirely cosmetic though, as the bodies, some of them do look cool, but they will also have unique hitboxes, meaning that some cars will be better for air dribbling or hitting the ball, or some will be better for hitting the ball with power, or others will be better for dribbling or stuff like that. If you want an in-depth guide on how cars work and their strengths and weaknesses, I highly suggest you just check on YouTube, as there are thousands in the community who spend entire videos on just how the cars work. I should also mention that there are different rarities to decals, wheels, hats, cars, things like that, and that different ones will be worth more or less rare, and they'll go in an order from base to sport to special to deluxe to import to it's exotic, then black market, and then luxury. Black markets will be mainly found in the item shop. As you can see, there is one goal explosion, or actually it's a decal here in the item shop, and luxuries will be mainly found in the rocket pass.
Okay, what do we like about this game? Well, firstly, it's free. I mean, you pay for skins and things like that, but you don't have to. It's a free game, free to try, available on most platforms. What's not to like? The location strategy almost feels like chess, as I mentioned earlier, which I like a lot. I play mostly 1v1 myself, and I played on my own. But it's really best played as a multiplayer. So many varied multiplayer modes. You can play as a team together with your family, with your friends. Interpolable across all platforms. Even split screen. It's fantastic for multiplayer. It has esports tournaments and other events organized by RLCS, the Rocket League organization. These are actual physical events you can go and attend. And they tend to be a lot of fun. They actually give like $1 million prizes. If you have those aspirations. But it's a fun community to be part of. And really, the MMR system, the matchmaking rating system, works really well. So most matches tend to be really, really fun and quite close to match. So that brings the excitement.
Rocket League is extremely fun and very exciting. It is also very rewarding. And it's so exciting and rewarding that it even gets my dad excited, which is quite something. Winning is also very exciting and exhilarating. Losing is, well, not so fun. We'll touch on that later. There is a massive Rocket League community that makes many training packs that you can use to get better. The goal is very clear. It's to score a goal. It's not that unclear. You can move and control your car in many, many different and unique ways, which you can use in turn to score goals. There are also many, many, many car designs that you can buy and unlock via playing the game and buying credits. They are also very nice to look at.
So I like flying, and I like swimming, and I like scoring.
Wow. And what's not to like? Well, steep learning curve for a start. It's not the most beginner-friendly game for sure. Mastering the moves takes a lot of effort. The hand dexterity may take years of investment, and even then it may not pay off. It's a quite hard game. And it gets you through this emotional roller coaster. The game may get too hard, upset the children, rage quit, cry. Also there are players who will be trolling, and you learn to develop a thicker skin for that.
What I don't like about Rocket League? Well, as I touched on this earlier, losing is very infuriating. I sometimes find myself rage quitting, and well, losing is just not very fun. Also, this is not a problem yet, but sometimes it is very repetitive. It's the same game over and over again. Sometimes it's a bit boring, but other than those two minor factors, I say Rocket League is a great game.
And what are our tips? Well, for a start, you have to learn how to lose and laugh off your mistakes where needed and come back and fight again. Now, that said, there are ways to improve skills. For a start, I would say learn to proactively improve your positioning strategy. That's probably one thing that can be done by everyone. Reflect on what worked, what didn't work, and try to improve your strategic thinking on the game, like chess. You can use the heat seeker mode to learn to fly. That's probably relating to one of the things relating to hand dexterity. The PlayStation 4 controller seems to be the best liked controller, and it's applicable to this game as well. Having your own team, like your family or friends, allows you to create better performing teams, which perform as a team, than banding with randoms, which is not that bad, in all fairness. And one of the things you should do first is probably set your camera settings, stop the camera shake for a start, and find your own playing style.
What are my pro tips? Well, if you want to get better, there are so many Rocket League YouTubers out there on YouTube who are trying to help you get better. If you want to get better at Rocket League, look at them, not us. We're here to tell you to get Rocket League, They're here to tell you to get better at how to get better at Rocket League. Another pro tip of mine, don't do ranked games too many times in a row. It'll get you worked up and you'll just start to lose games. If you want to buy a car, I highly recommend getting the Fennec and use the Octane if not. If you don't use the Octane, use Fennec, as I just said, or a Dominus works too.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about our story of this game. We started when Leo was about 7, I think.
I thought 6.
Yeah, like quite small. Were you already in primary school?
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, like quite young actually. Yeah,
Very.
very. I think it was basically the second game we really got hooked into
Yeah.
after Mud Runner, which we
Yeah.
should do a video of, I think.
Yeah, maybe later.
It's a good game for like very small children.
Yeah.
And Oliver is actually getting nearly there, so he might actually be even bored of it at this point. But yeah, I think Oliver could have fun with it. I remember like when we started, we were playing only bots because like we didn't dare to play competitive. So I didn't know
I didn't
about competitive play.
I didn't
myself.
even know I could play against other players. I was
Yeah.
just playing against
Like-
bots and with you.
Yeah, my ambition was to get like bronze. I didn't think
Your
I could go
ambition
anywhere.
was to go past silver.
Yeah, Yeah.
You've gone past that.
yeah. I was actually very surprised when we got to platinum at the time eventually.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Leo got really hooked into that. He kept playing it
Eventually. Yeah.
and watching
that's-
YouTube videos and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think you climbed as high as diamond, or
My highest was with you. We got diamond 2.
but that's a 2v2. They tend to be a bit easier as well. But yeah,
My highest in ones was platinum 3.
you never got diamond.
No,
Oh.
unfortunately not.
No, you were very good.
I was about average.
Yeah. So when we have Oli join us, we can do 3v3, which is a lot of fun because the standard
Yeah.
game mode is a 3v3.
That's what the professionals play us.
Yeah, like it's where the competitive tournaments happen. And speaking of those, there are these RLCS championships. I think even they come to Britain and like they
Yeah, I think
tour
the
Europe.
recent one was actually in London.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would have been nice actually. We should have supported that actually. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
have this. Yeah. So how does this game compare to other games?
Well, it's different because a lot of other games I play are sandbox. Like I like sandbox games quite a bit, like Trailmakers. But this one,
Brick Rigs. Mud
Brick
Runner
Rigs.
to an extent.
I guess
Snow Runner.
this one requires you have people who have spent 0 time into their customization and what their car looks like, but provided they have the same amount of skill as the other player who may have spent lots of time on their car, they would have the same like results. Like the thing is, it's entirely skill based. I think I've said this earlier, but it's entirely skill based.
Yeah, and that's what makes it
100%.
fun, and that's why you get this real satisfaction when you win, and it's very annoying when you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
think
hurts your ego when you lose. Rocket League verdict, my verdict, fun. I'll give it a solid 4 out of 5. The reason keeping it from 5 out of 5 is that sometimes it can be a bit repetitive, and as I've mentioned earlier in this video, losing can be very enraging. Ease? Well, I've been playing Rocket League for a few years now, and it's very fun, but getting into it at the start was fairly hard, as Rocket League has, as Bubs explained earlier, a very steep learning curve, so I have to rate it fairly low with a 2 out of 5. Multiplayer, I have to give it full marks. It has split screen and you can play with friends from all over the world if you have their Epic address. So, and it's also really fun to play together, and you can almost do everything together in Rocket League. So yeah, everything from 1v1ing each other to just mucking about in the new custom free play they added. So I have to give my verdict of my overall score being a 4 out of 5. It's very fun. has a brilliant multiplayer experience and has brilliant multiplayer, but is a very steep learning curve and is extremely competitive.
My verdict, I think fun is solid 5. Like, I don't think I had as much fun as this in a game in a long while, if ever. It's like you're truly invested into the game emotionally, and when you win, it's exhilarating, really. And when you lose it, it's infuriating. But that's kind of where the fun is. For me, it's like top notch. Is 2 out of 5? I would agree with Leo. Very hard to get into. Maybe not the hardest, but out there. And you do need to invest a lot of time. It's no beginner's game, to be honest. You do need to have a good controller ability, and yeah, you need to work on it. Multiplayer, 5 out of 5, similar to Leo. One of the best multiplayer games out there. I think they do a superb execution of it. Like all these different game modes, 3v2, 3v3, 1v1, you know, combinations, different setups. Wow, not fantastic stuff. Educational? No, it's not educational, really. Maybe 3 out of 5. Teaches you emotional control, bit of strategy, as we said. Platform support, solid 5 out of 5. Plays across so many devices. It's free, so I don't. It's probably one of the best games again for that. I don't think it gets better than that. And recommended range, probably from 6, 7 on, then plus, like it can be from whatever age. I don't think it gets old. It may have to compete with Fortnite. I think kids like Fortnite these days, but I think it's a solid game. The moment somebody can use the controller to do things. So what is the family score? That's a hard one because it has actually quite lows and highs. Definitely at least a 4. Maybe 4.5. Maybe I'm biased because I play this game. I love this game myself, even without Leo. So yeah, there you have it. Hopefully you make a decision, and if you do enjoy the game, give us a thumb up either way and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in another video soon. Bye.
Fire up the engine, boys by my side. Leo and Oliver, our Rocket League ride. We're a team, a family, turbocharged and